Hello and welcome back. Here to talk about finances and how they really can be a blessing to you, your family, your community, and all of humanity when they're managed properly. And so we talk about faith-based financial principles that I have used successfully over the last couple of decades, and they've allowed me to remain debt-free and gain financial freedom. And I am sharing those with you. I'm not a financial expert or a financial advisor. Today I want to talk to you about net worth. Now, when I was growing up, when I thought about somebody who was wealthy, I thought about someone who made a great income, six figures, who drove really nice cars or lived in a great neighborhood. And you know, that's not the best measure of wealth. There's a better way to do that, and that is by considering net worth. So today we're going to talk about not only what is net worth and how to calculate it, but also we're going to find out what's the net worth of your peers and how do you compare to them. Let's talk about it. So, what is net worth? Well, to put it simply, net worth is taking what you own, your assets, and then subtracting from that what you owe, your liabilities. Net worth is important to know. It's like a report card. It lets you know if you are doing well or if there are areas that you really need to work on. So how do we calculate net worth? So in this example, there is a house, and that house is worth or it has been valued at $300,000. There's also an automobile of $35,000, and then there may be miscellaneous assets like jewelry or furniture or that old truck or old car from the 1960s or 70s that an uncle left you that still may have some value. In our example, when we add all of those up, we come to a total of $358,000. That is not your net worth. Those are just the assets. Now we got to subtract everything that you owe, or what we call liabilities. So for instance, on that house, there happens to be a house note or mortgage of $289,000. On the automobile, there's a debt of $19,000, and then on the miscellaneous stuff, about $12,000 in debt. Add up all the liabilities, we get $320,000. Now, it's just a matter of subtracting liabilities from assets, and in our example, we come up with $38,000. But what does that really mean? I mean, is that good? Is it bad? Do I need to work on it? I mean, how do I put that in perspective? The Federal Reserve issues a report every 3 years. They should be releasing one sometime soon because the last one was released in 2020. It was completed in 2019, but it was published in 2020. And that report shows what net income looks like across racial lines, educational lines, employment lines. But the one that we're going to concentrate on is by age. And what that report says is that for those who are 35 years old or younger, they have the lowest net worth, and it's around $14,000. Generally, that's because people who are in this age group are either in college, just completing college, or just starting their career. There's generally a lot of student debt for this particular group, and they just haven't had the opportunity to really purchase assets like houses or to have seasoned long-term investments. Because the next age group, for people between the ages of 35 and 44, the average net worth is around $91,000. And people in this age group may still, in fact, have student debt. As you know, sometimes that can take a very, very long time to pay off. And so these folks often still have student debt. And they may have purchased a home at this point. And if they have, there probably is a significant mortgage. They owe a lot on that mortgage at this point. Remember, many mortgages are 20 to 30 years to pay off. So it takes a long time, almost as long as student debt, to pay these mortgages off. The next group is 45 to 54 with an average of about $168,000 in net worth. These people within this group, they're a bit more seasoned in their careers, and so they are earning more. They have more to invest. They've had a little bit of time to begin to really work on that home mortgage, to get out of some of that debt, hopefully out of some of the student debts. And they're starting to see some growth, some accumulation in their overall investments. And so there is an increase. Then we see people ages 55 to 64, where net worth is about $213,000. Many people in this age group, they've reached the apex of their career. They have it going on career-wise. They have been really working on that mortgage. They've gotten it down. They are out of their student debt, and hopefully any student debt associated with their children is well managed and under control. And they're finally really seeing a lot of movement on their investments. The next age group is age 65 to 74. Many people within this age group, finally, that house is completely paid off. Their investments are very mature, and they are starting to slow down in some of their major expenditures in life. The final group is age 75 and older. Something interesting happens within this age group. Net worth actually begins to decline. And this makes a lot of sense because people in this age group often have reached a point in their life where they are able to retire. So they are actually drawing down on some of the long-term investments that they have. They may even choose to downsize in terms of their assets, their houses. They may want something smaller, something less complicated. So there is a slight downward trending within this age group. Now, let me say this. This is good information. And as I said, if you have an opportunity, take a look at the survey and maybe just search a little bit and play around in it. It's got really good information on education, race, and how that impacts net worth. But these are statistics. They don't dictate who you are or what you can accomplish. You can still acquire financial information. You can still pray and trust God and do amazing things without respect to your gender or your race or your education. So statistics should not dictate and control who you are or what your destination in life is. It is important to understand what net worth is and to make financial adjustments based on something that is concrete and for which you have statistical information and can compare your performance to that of peers. Hope this helped. God bless.